A show based on the facts, honesty, the man, the myth, the legend, Constitutionalist Joseph M. Leonard.
Welcome to Constitutionalist Politics Podcast, aka CTP. I am your host, Joseph M. Leonard, and that's Leonard. CTP is your no muss, no fuss, just me, you, and occasional guest type podcast. Really appreciate you tuning in. As Graham Norton would say, let's get on with the show! Welcome to another episode of Constitutionalist welcoming me. Oh, this happens every time I hit record. My mouth and brain don't cooperate. Not welcoming me. I'm welcoming to the show Curtis Harris. How are you, Curtis?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing good, you know. Woke up feeling all right, ready to rock and roll, ready to talk about some things, man. I hope you're doing okay. All is well.
I always say could be better, could be worse.
Understood. That is
right?
Very valid. That is very valid. Yes,
and
sir.
I have that in two of my books. A life philosophy I'm trying to spread. Hey, people, it could always be better, but it could be worse.
Exactly.
Anyway, in your Podmatch profile, all I needed to see was at the bottom, it says, if your podcast is about purpose-driven culture. Boop, good enough.
Okay, awesome.
Right?
Awesome.
But skipping the first obvious question, I'll come back to it. The obvious question with that terminology there is, are you in association with at all Rick Warren and Purpose Driven Life book or his ministry?
No, sir. Not at all. No, sir.
I didn't think so, but it's an obvious question.
Yeah, 100%. That is kind of a big wave kind of right now. That 100%. That is, I can see why you asked that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that book came out quite a while ago, but and anyway, and there's a movie called Capture, I think, with Kate Mara, and that book plays a role in that movie. So,
oh wow,
that's a great movie if you get it. It's an older movie now too, but if you get a chance to stream that, I think it's called Capture. Look up Kate Mara movies and find that one, or Capture or Captive, something like that. Anyway, you're not here to talk about that. But indeed, the obvious first question would be, let's get to it. Where were you born? Where are you now? You know,
okay, all right.
All the down and dirty nitty gritty.
Okay, well, guys, I represent Roundtable Rejects. I'm just one of the representatives, you know, and Roundtable Rejects pretty much is a movement, purpose-driven movement to inspire not only life, but life in abundance. And if you guys have heard this before, you probably heard it in the Bible, you know, just a carrying of your cross, but more so a carrying of life. You know, we all are here to live our lives in our own individual perspectives, never get it wrong, because every single individual perspective matters. Your perspective matters. I'm just another perspective on this globe that we call life. So in my perspective, I've seen some things, but I know that I've only seen just a fraction of the puzzle, because life, just walking in life, man, it's just a trip of awareness, you know? It's just awareness. The more, and I'm so happy to get on here with a man that looks so versed and experienced in this thing we call life.
I should have worn the Book of Kennedy shirt for the show, because my latest book, the Book of Kennedy is a fictional female character, has nothing to do with JFK.
Okay.
Although if you put the Book of Kennedy in Amazon search field, rather than bring up my book that's actually called The Book of Kennedy, it'll list books about Kennedy first that aren't called that. It's like,
Oh
well,
my God.
I should have called it something else. I should have known that would probably
Yeah.
happen.
They
Right?
lumped you up in that, man.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
But it is what it is. And indeed, the Book of Kennedy is about life and living. And yeah, things happen.
Goodness.
Whole lot of what I call mass holes out there try to drag you down, trying to navigate life and remain optimistic while the mass holes are trying to drag you down.
Wow, that's so real. Oh man, I'd love to check that out. That sounds awesome, man. Oh man, yeah, because that's kind of where I'm at, like in the stage of my life is just going against the grain, you know, and when you decide to go on your own path, you get conflicted a lot, you know, and it's more than that because it's you have the people that okay, I'm gonna be a Christian, you know, and there's different portions or different aspects of Christianity, and I don't mean just the denominational. It goes beyond that, you know, because you have your people that are like, oh, I'm Christian, but I'm not in a religion, you know? It's like it's a mindset. And that's kind of how like Christianity was even derived. You probably already know that. It was a word used to mock people that were trying to be like Christ. And that's kind of where I'm at. You know, it's like I don't really want to be put into a box of any type of sorts, but I do try to behave like my creator because
Amen. I hear you. Matthew 23, false prophet, vipers, snakes, blind guides. Twice spoke of it then. We have a lot of them now. I'm a Christian. Well, you sure don't act like it much, right? They want the kumbaya singing around the
right.
campfire stuff, but they skip the tough love parts
You
of
get
the
what I'm
Bible.
saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
And
That's
and
what this whole show is about.
that's
The tough
amazing.
love
That's
parts
amazing.
people want to leave out. You're not a real
Exactly.
Christian if
Hmm.
you just want to go to a humanist club with a steeple, and the minute you walk out, you forget what the Bible says.
Exactly. You know, it's more about how you feel instead of getting yourself on the right track, you know?
And back to what you said, like, right, and alluding to the Book of Kennedy, the mass holes, right? Why do you want to be a Christian? Why don't you just
Mm,
take the easy path? You mentioned
mm,
path, right? The secular what? Just go with the flow, man,
right.
right? Just whatever, dude.
Yeah. No, that's what it's all about. Conviction is everything. Nowadays, especially, conviction is everything. And I sometimes I feel the need to apologize for my generation because it's a big divide, and I understand how big of a divide it is for people that are. I mean, they use the term like PC.
How old
PC.
are you?
I'm
Yeah.
23. I'm
Okay.
23. So
See,
I'm right in the mix of it. I'm right in the mix of it. 100%.
yeah, for those not watching the behind the scenes video and for the benefit of the transcript, so when you say your generation, they know what we're talking about here. Yeah, exactly. And the other thing too is you use the word roundtable. I have friends at Wham Radio here in Michigan have the Abolitionist Roundtable show
Wow.
that airs Saturdays at 9 a.m. So I love that you use the words roundtable as
Yes,
like, oh,
sir.
I definitely got to talk to this person.
Yeah, because that's what it is right now. We need a roundtable because a lot of perspectives are getting left out right now. And that's what I see in my individual walk is the divide. You know, I'm right in the mix of the divide, and we're constantly every single day going directing against the divide and trying to look towards oneness, unity. And the only way to get unity is by having everyone's side of the story. No story should be left out. I feel everyone has a voice. God didn't put you here. Your father, your creator, you are not here to be like everything that you've went through as an individual was not for no reason. There is purpose behind every single body's story. There's things that you could learn from. It's just the lack of awareness.
I need to hire you to help sell my book. You're selling my book.
That's exactly why I'm here. I was like, oh man, that book sounds amazing, because that's exactly the season in my life that I'm going through right now.
But yeah, I hear you, and that's part of the problem is we're not listening, right? I hear you. I respect you. I may not agree, but
bingo.
Okay, you're you, I'm me. I care. I pray for your soul.
Exactly.
You may be going down a path I don't like, but you're you. God gave us free will. Please, I'm praying for your soul. But indeed, we need to hear each other, have a discussion, and even if we don't agree at the end, at least we're talking.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
It is a myth that terrorism stopped during COVID. Unfortunately, mainstream media opted to prioritize pandemic hysteria over promoting all news. Terrorism continues. Simply hoping that it doesn't affect you is not a strategy. The new book, Terror Strikes, coming soon to a city near you, featured on The Author Show, is now available in paperback from bookstores, online, or as an ebook exclusively through Amazon Kindle. Terror Strikes, coming soon to a city near you by Joseph M. Leonard. Order today.
Exactly. Now it's not, oh man, I don't even know why he did that. Like now I don't even know why he did that. He's wrong. And it's like, okay, so now you see the other side of the grass. Well, he felt like this in his heart, and he told you the steps that led up to him feeling like this. So now you know exactly where he's at. Now we need that outside perspective, be like, okay, so this is how we fix this. This is where compromise comes in, So okay, so you were feeling bad about the way he said something. Okay, and you were feeling bad about the way you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're all so damn easily offended these days.
Yes, sir. And that's why I had to come in with an apology, because it's like some of us have the grit of actually like not having the best childhoods, but some of us just sat in front of a computer every day where all they would do is get their way, because you're in a chat room and it's not going your way there. You just go on to the next chat room because bubble. Maybe you'll get
find the bubble that suits you. A confirmation bias. People, my Constitutionalist 2 book has a quotations chapter. I'm not trying to peddle my book here, but you touched on this, right? In the quotations chapter, it's mainly famous people, but there's a few Joe originals in there. One is I'm a former IT guy. So I say, never before in the course of human history have people had access to facts at their fingertips. But conversely, never before in history have people had such access to feed their delusional bubble.
Yes, sir.
Than before.
Yes, sir. That's so real. And that was the difference to why I see any people like older than me, even if it's a little bit or it's by a couple decades, it's that they didn't have that. So when they grew up, they had to go through the fire, They had to build and ingrain themselves to where they are at. They had to go through the constant conflict of, they couldn't like look online and find, so this person knows exactly what I'm going through. No, they had to go through it alone. They're like, well, I'm having these thoughts. Okay, so I have to either stand on this belief or have to get it challenged by every single person in my life, you know? And that's why it's like, man, all respect to you guys, because you guys did the best with what you had. And now that we're tapping into more stuff, it's our job as the new generation to do the best with what we have. And it's a lot of laziness, a lot of pride, a lot of ego that we won't just let go of, you know? And instead of using this information to build people, we're using this information to tear each other down, to try to be better than your neighbor instead of building up your neighbor. And that's what we talk about a lot, is the culture of love itself and sacrifice itself. Are you willing to give everything that you have, sacrifice your life, not only for your friend, but also do it for your enemy, the person that despises you, the person that talks down on you every single day? Are you willing to give your life and everything good and bad in your life to that person? Because that's where your true love actually comes from, is that sacrifice of giving everything you have. Look at God, look at the Father. He gave everything that he had. He gave a part of his glorious, magnificent light that cannot be any dampness. It could not be darkened by anything. The purest light itself. He gave it as a full-on sacrifice. He didn't say, well, I'm sacrificing for some of you guys. Well, I'm sacrificing for this particular group. No, he gave it as a universal sacrifice. And when will we, as our new generation, pick up our cross and take this knowledge and this youthfulness that we have and give it as a sacrifice into this world, you know? Yeah. And instead of using it to, oh, okay, now I'm better than him. No, it's like that shouldn't even exist in your mindset. Honestly, that really should exist to be a sacrifice, you know? And that's where that's what I see.
I shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna insult a lot of your generation, right? It's good to be talking to somebody in your generation that has their head screwed on straight, at least.
I appreciate that.
Of them don't, and they lack the wisdom you have, obviously beyond your years. And again, the book of Kennedy deals in badgering and bullying, and you alluded, right? We don't get to choose how people act towards us, but we do get to choose how we react back. And that's not to say,
man, that's so real.
We're all human. I'm frail. I'm flawed. I have bad days too, right? So you're shitty to me. If I'm having a bad day, I might not be as Christian as I need to be, and I lash back, which I don't want to do. And I recognize there's a group called, they have a song called Black Flag, King's X, a Christian group.
You say Black Flag, I thought pirates.
Oh, yeah. No, but yeah, it goes, I had a black flag, you know, like, you know, you had the negativity on your day. I had a black flag on my morning, I had a black flag on my day. And he goes on later to say, it was up to me how I wanted it to be, right? How we react when the world gives us lemons, are you going to make lemonade out of it type thing?
Oh my gosh, that is so real. Because at least from my perspective, I see every moment, every decision, we have a decision to decide, do we choose the light or do we choose darkness? You know, every time something enters your life in your walk, do you choose the light or do you choose darkness? And then kind of getting into a walk to where it's like, either I'm going to handle this positively, or if it's negatively and I feel like handling it negatively, I'm just going to give it up to God, you know, sacrifice it up to God. And I know in the Bible, it says, give your burdens to God. So anything that burdens you that you can't directly affect with life or with light, with life, with love, go ahead and give it up to God. And I say this to say, that's how you build a relationship with God, is by choosing him daily, you know, choosing to do the loving thing versus doing the hateful thing. And you do this daily. That's that's building a relationship with God. You know, you're waking up and being like, okay, I'm choosing God. I'm choosing the way of good and not the way of evil. And God will respect that, and he'll give back to you. He'll either test you more or reward you for what you're going through. But a lot of the time it's like, okay, I'm going to give them another test. And it's our responsibility to have that mental fortitude and be like, you know what? I'm not going to crack. I'm going to go through every single day. I'm going to take what hits me, and I'm going to try, you know, and they're going to see that trying. God's going to see that trying. And that's how you get to a point to where, okay, I am good in my faith. I know without a shadow of a doubt that where I'm going after this life is a place with God, because your relationship is fully with God. You're with God right now, and then you'll be with God in the end, because it's a never-ending walk, because we have the Holy Spirit. And every day when you choose God, you're building that Holy Spirit power within you. And, you know, and that Holy Spirit power within you is just going to ascend right up to heaven. It's our job to have that relationship. And I'm telling you guys, you just got to choose that every single day. And that's how you build that relationship. That's how you get that power in God, is by, okay, I'm not going to do the negative thing. I'm going to do the positive thing, you know, and do that out of respect for God, do that out of respect for your people, you know?
Yeah. And again, back to the path thing that you brought up. Again, we're all human. We're all can't talk still, frail and flawed. And yeah, some days we just might want the easy path, and again, we might have a bad day, but that's where grace has to come in, that we have to remember that person might just be having a bad day. This interaction might not be the way they normally are, and I need
100%.
to remember that.
And that's where that lack of awareness, lack of understanding, and it's like that. And you could probably enlighten me so much on how it's always been. So has it always been, if I may ask, like,
well, I'm old, but I'm not ancient.
Yeah, I know you're younger than me. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I just turned 63 this year.
Oh, so. Man, beautiful. Okay, awesome. This shouldn't be.
I could talk about the last half century.
Okay, that's what I need right now. Is that lack of awareness? Has it ever, like? I know it's grown and we've come so far, but at least government-wise, have we gotten that lack of awareness correlation to where it's like, okay, I can see our God shining through the government?
I hope we will again. But
wow.
Yeah, it's been so bad since World War II on. And
wow.
As you said, wisdom because you're younger, right? We're in the 1960s again. I'm sure you're aware of the whole idea of hippies and flower child of the 60s, right? If it feels good, do it. You're familiar with that phrase from the 60s, the hippies. Yeah. Well, we're there again. Everybody's about me. What do I get? How do I get it? Why didn't I get it yesterday? Right?
Yeah.
But what you may not remember, or you wouldn't remember, you may not realize, is the 60s hippies, most of them eventually grew up, they got older, and they recognized, hey, this planet does not revolve around me. There's more to life and others that I need to care about, not just me, which led to the 1970s Jesus Revolution. Another great movie, if you want to see that, Jesus Revolution, all about that, right? We're in that time again now. A whole lot of me, but some of those people will grow up, and others already, like you, well wise beyond their years, because they see them doing that and they say, I don't want to be like that. I know there's more to life than just me. So There is a second Jesus revolution happening now. And that's why I have at beforeitsnews.com a piece called, or thelibertybeacon.com, Let the Left Keep Pushing. There's a generational shift. You're an example of it happening, pushing back on their indoctrination of the 60s hippie. Everything always is about you. People are waking up to that it is not. A second Jesus revolution is happening.
Well, thank God for that, man. Thank God for that, because I know at least what I've learned through Christianity, and this is actually scripture. The greatest among you will be the greatest servant, you know, and as long as my generation could not think the greatest among you is not the one with the most money, not the one with the most power, but the greatest servant, you know, and being able to humble themselves and be like, well, how can I serve people better? You know, and that's where the competition is. Not how can I be the most prideful, not how can I outshine, but how could I take a step back and learn to serve better, you know?
And serving others a lot of times helps serve yourself.
Exactly. Right. And that's what people don't understand. Right. It's a never-ending fountain, you know, and
karma.
Karma. Exactly.
What
karma.
you put out, you'll usually get back.
Exactly.
Put out good, you'll usually get back. Put out positivity, you'll usually get positively back. Positivity. Again, my mouth don't want to work, but you knew what I meant.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but sometimes God uses the lowest of us, the worst of us, right?
Oh man, doesn't he?
Look at the Bible and who God lifted up at times. It's like, well, that person was a piece of you know what, but now with God's influence and help, look what they're doing, right?
I know, and it's almost like a joke the way he does it. It's almost hilarious the way he does it.
But it's important for humans because our human nature, right? Again, we're given free will, so he wants to take bad examples and make use of them because we can relate a lot of time to the bad examples because, again, we're not perfect. We're all sinful. And if God can lift up that sinner, then obviously there's hope for the rest of us.
Exactly. And that's the such beauty in the story. And man, that relates me back to the prophet Elijah, I believe, which is so hilarious. That story is when he's going up against the world's God, the God of Baal. And so for those of you that don't know the story, it was a competition between God the Father and Baal, and they both came out and they put bundles of sticks out, and they're like, okay, well, we're going to see whose God can make this fire spark. And it's like groups and groups of people are praying to these sticks, and they're like, Baal, come on, do the fire. And it's just Elijah there. And he's like, maybe you guys need to cry louder, you know? Maybe you guys need to really go at it, because his fire sparks almost immediately. Elijah's fire with God the Father just almost sparks immediately. And here's why I bring up this parable, because then they're like, oh, well, let's put water on his sticks. Water, guys.
This is perfect.
It still sparks, you know?
I watched I just yesterday, I think it was, History's Mysteries with Lawrence Fishburne, I think, hosts the show. And Mysteries of the Bible were the episode. And this very story, well, how could sticks catch fire without a source? And they went into the science. Well, with this present and that present, pouring water on it would have made those chemicals generate heat and light wet wood on fire. So it's not only biblical, it's scientifically sound that it happened.
Yes. And that's where we're coming to, is this age of more awareness, where people are starting to like see through the cracks, you know? And I'm finding that too, when they're like, well, God is light. And then you go scientifically, that every time you feel the emotion of like love, your brain lights up on the scans, on scientific scans. Your brain actually lights up when you feel emotions like love. It's like we are actually showing light, and it's not only a spiritual sense, a biblical sense, but it's also a scientific sense, which is so amazing.
Yes. Oh, and I'm glad you brought that up. While you were talking, I'm bringing up a copy of my book, and I'm doing a quick search because I want to read from the book. In fact, if that animal side of us, that sometimes too overly emotional sides, brings any urge to want smack the you-know-what out of someone, it indeed best to love them from afar. A different kind, level of love, still very much Christian, godly, Jesus, philia fashion, right? The different types of love the Bible points out. Philia, the Philadelphia, which most people in the city of brotherly love have no idea where Philadelphia came from. The Bible, philia, or versus God's reserved agape, or story love, or eros love, right? And all of those things indeed light up and affect our brains differently as God created us and intention for it to do.
Wow, wow, wow. And man, once again, thank you so much, because that if I'm gonna give my life, and I'm gonna give everything I have, that's the thing that holds me all together and inspires me probably the most, is that when people above my age are willing to give their knowledge and give their wisdom, it inspires me, because you have those people that will gatekeep like all of their knowledge and all of their wisdom and won't share it, And it's like, do you not want the cycle of life that we're experiencing to end? And for that, like in the beginning when you were talking about it could be better, for that it could be better to start. You guys have to talk to us and provide the wisdom. I know some of us don't seek it, but there's a portion of us that really crave it, like really want to know what happened and really want to know your perspectives. You get what I'm saying?
Like I say, that of course I'm channeling the Bible there. That isn't my wisdom. I'm sharing biblical wisdom, right? I like to say that book, the Book of Kennedy, like my other fictional books, come to me in dreams. So I like to say my books are not of me, they are through me.
Wow.
Right? I am given what I'm to write. I am the one typing it, but they are through me.
Wow. Oh, that is powerful. Yeah. And that's how I feel like you have to feel a lot of the time, is like that humbleness is everything,
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the place us Christians strive for, to where it's no longer our will, but it's totally just all God's will, and we're just being a vessel here,
And I don't want this show to be all about me. Every once in a while it is. I do mention a book. I've mentioned a couple of them. I'm going to mention one more. How to write a book and get it published. Hints, tips, and techniques. You need a copy of that so you can write a book.
Eventually, maybe. I feel like I gotta go through so much more first.
But your young, youthful perspective, your peers need that.
Yeah.
They need that now, not later. It may be too late.
Yeah, that's so real. And right now, me and my wife we just had our 4-year anniversary last week. And
Congrats.
Right now, thank you so much. And right now we're working on a child. And if I did write anything, it would be so that, like, if anything were to happen to me, I'd be able to give that book at least to my child, and be like, okay, this is what I've experienced, you could see if give them a launch pad to do better, because I 100% believe in generational curses and things being passed down, and it's always the next guy's cross, and what I do in my life will affect my son's life directly. And it's happened since the Garden of Eden. We are all feeling the backlash from what Adam and Eve did in the garden, and we're still feeling that result. So our son is going to feel some of the things that I did, and I want to see it. I want to try to prepare him the best he can, or the best I can, because I didn't have a father figure in my life to help me do so. So that's our job, is to let's at least try to do better, guys.
Now,
that's our job.
There are several books out there where people write letters to my child or whatnot type books, right? Like in the Book of Kennedy, again, not to necessarily promote the book, but you're perfectly set up for me to say this. I can't pass the opportunity.
Yes, sir. Right? That's where I'm at.
In the Book of Kennedy, I quote from the song Last Chance by a group called Shooting Star. Today may be your last chance to drink from life's well. You could be dead tomorrow, right? We could all be hit by a bus tomorrow. We don't know how plentiful or few our days will be. And like you said, write a book. You don't want to write the memoir of Curtis Harris, because people would, who the heck is Curtis Harris? Why would I want to read his memoir, right? But letters to my child they can relate to, and indeed, if you're hit by a bus, you have that left for your child to read. Yes.
Man.
All right. Well, I'm going to wrap things up. Does the Roundtable Rejects have a website people can reach out to?
100%, guys. So we are doing more things. We do have products and ways that you can support the cause and the mission. And that's kind of like our whole purpose, is to kind of bring awareness and bring positivity, not only into the people that we talk to, but into the world as a whole, guys. So when you're supporting us, you're also supporting yourselves. You're also supporting generations after you. And we have so many plans, drives, and missions to help the generations after you guys, so the more you feed into the future, which might be me, the more I could feed into the future as well, guys. So thank you. The website is roundtablerejects.com. And then we also have, if you're into any social media, we have the Instagram, which is roundtablerejects111. And you could find everything. Everything is linked from there. So guys, check us out. If you like what's going on here, there's a whole lot of that, a lot of giving, a lot of trying to grow, and there's a lot of things and videos on the Instagram that help growth and support growth. But once again, thank you so much for having me, Mr. Joseph. I appreciate you greatly.
Thank you, Curtis. I'm glad you got your sound issues behind the scenes. People don't know, right? Before you were a little late because you were having sound issues. Thank God you got those ironed out and we didn't have to cancel this discussion. I'm glad we had it. Thank you.
Me as well. Thank you so much.
Take care. God bless.
All right. You as well. Likewise. Have a good day. Take care.
Thank you for having tuned in for Constitutionalist Politics Show. If you haven't already, please check out my primary internationally available book, Terror Strikes, coming soon to a city near you. Available anywhere books are sold. If you have locally run bookstores still near you, they can order it for you. And let me remind, over time, the fancy high production items will come. But for now, for starters, it's just you as a very appreciated listener by me. All substance, no fluff, just straight to key discussion points. A show that looks at a variety of topics, mostly politics, through a Christian U.S. constitutionalist lens. So again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Take care. God bless. Like, and subscribe to Constitutionalist Politics Podcast and share episodes. We need your help.
Wham Radio, 1600 AM and 92.7 FM is your conservative flamethrower. Weekdays, Steve Gruber starts things off at 6 a.m. Gruber gives his perspective on the issues of the day. At 9 a.m., Glenn Beck blazes the airwaves with his nationally syndicated program. From noon to 3, it's Dennis Prager. At 3 o'clock, it's Wham's own Thayrone X. On the Edge, Thayrone tells it exactly as he sees it. At 6, it's The Dana Show, your conservative alternative. At 8, don't miss Joe Pags. Weekends are filled with conservative talk as well. Fingers Malloy, Thomas LeDuc, The Abolitionists Roundtable, A Moment of Clarity with Pastor Rick, Your American Heritage with Ed Bondarenka, Dave Janda's Operation Freedom, and Dick Kupke's Trigger Talk. You can even get links to Wham podcasts from Dave, Dick, and of course Thayrone, all from their pages on our website, whamradio.com. Keep it locked on Wham Radio, 1600 AM and 92.7 FM in southeastern Michigan, and whamradio.com anywhere in the world.